All right, so we are recording tonight. Tonight we have Michelle from Choices Chattanooga, and she's going to talk about self-care. And it's really important stuff to go through, but she's going to go through some slides. It'll probably be a little bit of interactive, so the more interactive you are, the better it is for the presenter. But Michelle, I'm going to give it over to you if you want to tell us a little bit of what you're going to do, and then go right on into it.
Great. Thanks, Joe. Hi, guys. It's good to see your faces. If you remember me, my name is Michelle. Thanks for joining me tonight to talk a little bit about self-care. If I asked you what self-care was, could anybody give me a definition, or does anybody want to give me a definition of self-care, what they think it is? Nate, you want to tell me? I see you thinking there. You're muted, honey. There you go.
Like taking care of yourself, maybe?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? So I actually put on here a super fancy definition that I found on the internet, and it says the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health, or the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, particularly during periods of stress. Anybody ever feel stressed? No, just me? Okay. So in summary, self-care is anything that you can do for yourself that feels like you're nourishing yourself. So why do we need self-care? Anybody know why we need self-care? Well, today, teens, young adults, and even adults. You gonna say something, Nate? Go ahead, tell me.
Wait, can you say the question again?
Yeah, why do we need self-care?
To like help our body grow, maybe?
Yeah, physically, to take care of yourself, you definitely need to do some self-care. So teens, young adults, and even older adults like myself, we're more stressed, more anxious, more depressed, and even more lonely than we've ever been before. And there doesn't seem to really be just one cause of it. Some scientists pointed to like digital media and social media as being the problem, but the data really doesn't support this as the sole or even most important source of the problem. There's worries about our future. Some of us worry about climate change, economic change, job change, our image, academic success. We have pressures to do really good in school. Sometimes we feel like we have to meet this perfection or be perfect. There's a lot of demands for school. Some of us have demands for community service, sports, arts, family obligation, church obligations. And sometimes it's just as simple as there's something on Netflix and everybody's pressuring you. You've just got to do it. But you end up doing it most of the time alone, right? So we do these things alone. So I want to talk to you about some things that you can put in what I call a self-care toolbox. So it's one thing for me to tell you what self-care is or how important it is, but I want to make sure that when we leave here today, that you know there are things that you can put in place to help you take care of yourself. And the first one is time, right? You have to take the time to take care of yourself. And it has to be something that you do every single day. And it's not easy to do. It is not easy to set time aside with all the things you have going on in your life, but it's called a discipline. It's disciplining yourself to know that it's necessary and important to do that every single day. And once it becomes a habit, do it about 15, 20 minutes a day, you will see a huge difference in your life. Another one here is prayer and meditation. This one is really important to me because I am a Christian, but prayer and meditation have actually been proven to change the structure and the function of your brain. Right? Science has proven prayer and meditation promotes relaxation, reduces anxiety and depression, and it reduces your stress. So prayer and meditation, great disciplines to have. Exercise. Exercise is a big one, and working out comes in many different types of forms. There's strength training, endurance training, aerobic activity, which gets your heart rate pumping. But sometimes it's just as simple as taking a good walk outside in the fresh air, helps get you physically fit. And it's a natural way to decrease your depression and anxiety and stress. Exercise and physical activity produce endorphins or chemicals in your brain that act as natural painkillers that help also improve how much you sleep. And that in itself can help reduce stress. Exercise in any form will actually help you reduce your stress. And being active boosts those feel-good endorphins, and that will distract you from any daily worries or anxieties. Such good self-care. How many of you like to sleep? Sleep is a great form of self-care. And it is something that we don't necessarily get enough of, and it's easier said than done. How many times do you take a nap and you feel really good after you take a nap, right? Sleep deprivation or not getting enough sleep is really, really harmful to how you think, your emotional state of being, and your physical state of being. We each need about 8 to 9 hours of sleep, but that's really restful sleep. That's sleeping good and hard. And that will help us function at our best. But it's hard to fit that in. Again, if you're staying up late and doing homework, or you have a job, or you don't turn your phone off and you got ding ding all night long on your phone, that will interrupt your sleep pattern. And you need to make a regular sleep schedule. I don't know if any of you are on a routine where your mom or dad makes you go to bed at a certain time, and then you get up at a certain time because you got to be to school in the morning. Well, that is a cycle that your body gets used to, and your body remembers that you're getting that sleep, and it actually will start unwinding when it's time for you to get ready for bed. Creative expression. This is one of my favorites. Choosing a creative outlet to express your thoughts and your feelings. Anybody know of a way that, or something that could be a creative way to express yourself? Anybody? What you got, Nate?
Painting, maybe?
Painting is a great one, right? Anybody else? Anybody else have a thought on what they could do to express themselves? Tell me another one. Go ahead.
Like dancing, maybe?
Dancing. What do you got, Allie?
Listening to music.
Listening to music. Right. So it could also be journaling. That's something that I like to do. Writing poetry, like Nate said, painting, drawing, photography, dancing, playing music. And there isn't one form of creative expression that's any better than another. The key is that you just kind of let loose and you do it, and you're really expressing how you feel, and you're not overly concerned with perfection. You're just letting your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings be your guide. And some of us do it pretty seriously, and we take lessons to be better painters or singers or musicians. But that's not necessary. There's lots of really amazing self-taught artists, but it's really about expressing yourself creatively and just going out there and getting it done and not worrying about perfection. Just immerse yourself in what you're doing and have fun with it. Hanging out with your friends. So there's actual scientific research that shows that meeting with your friends in person, talking about what's going on in your life and sharing laughs and giggles and encouraging each other increases your endorphins. You can talk about things you're struggling with, things that you're processing. It will help you prevent burnout, and it will promote that well-being. Group connections are super important for fostering resilience and, again, releasing chemicals that support your well-being. And it doesn't have to be just talking. There are things that you can do together, go to the movies, share art projects together. You can play games together, take walks together. And there's a lot of pressure sometimes that we have to have all this huge number of friends, but really just find a good couple of friends that really will meet that need for you. Those good friends that just a few special ones that you can trust, because you know, sometimes when you spread yourself too thin and try to have all of these friends, they're not really the ones that you can trust, right? So get a good small group of special friends who can make a big difference in your life. But make sure you're doing it in person, not just texting or chatting online. Make sure you're getting together. Oh, did I stop sharing here where my screen's not going anymore? There we go. There we go. Volunteering, doing something for someone else. How many of you have heard that it's better to give than receive? Anybody ever heard that? Yeah. So doing something for someone else, your brain is actually wired to give. You are created to give. In fact, those chemicals that are released in the brain, just like in exercise, they're released during the process of giving. And it actually will make you truly feel as if you had received the greatest gift when you give to others. And there's lots of places that you can volunteer as a child or a young adult. Anybody have any ideas where some great places to volunteer or to give back as a youth?
Rise Up.
Rise Up. Somebody else? Well, there's different community centers, right? Maybe tutoring at an after-school program, or at a children's hospital, at your church. All of those places just kind of foster this really feel-good feeling, makes you feel positive. And not only are you having an impact on your own life, you're having an impact on someone else's life. This one is the hardest one for me. Turning off your phone. Turn it off, at least for part of the day. And you may need to if your parents do. But sometimes even just more than that, when you're starting to feel anxious, just turn off your phone. All those pings and dings and Instagram hits and text messages, it's just too much. Our brains can't process it. And we feel this tension or this stress to answer every text, answer every message, and it can get overwhelming. So just take a break. And you might even find that you have withdrawal from turning off your phone. And I think it's harder to do when you choose to do it rather than when somebody tells you to do it. That voluntary turning off your phone and putting it away, but it is crucial that you do it. And honestly, how many do you need to see in a day, right? And how many of them are important? Not very many. How many of them are life-changing? Usually none. So you might find it to just feel really good. And you may find that you are more refreshed if you just turn your phone off and put it away in a time that you choose to do it, maybe not one that somebody's chose for you. Be your own best friend. Practice positive self-talk. Did you know that most of us talk worse to ourselves than we do to our worst enemy? That when you look at yourself in the mirror, or if you fail at something or don't do something well, you beat yourself up. Does anybody do that besides me? You think that you are the worst, right? But if it was your best friend, you would never talk to them like that. You'd be getting behind them, cheering them on. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Try again, try harder. You were great. It was perfect. But we don't do that to ourselves. And this can be one of the things that is detrimental to our self-care. Positive self-talk is motivating, and it helps you improve actually your shortcomings. You can talk yourself and encourage yourself through something you don't do well. You become a better version of yourself. So never put yourself down and never engage in negative self-talk. You need to recognize the good things about yourself and about your abilities and truly talk to yourself as if you are your own best friend. And if you're talking bad to your best friend, you might want to think, is that really my best friend? So talk to yourself as if you care about yourself. And this self-care isn't selfish. So this is super important to understand because honestly, adults don't get this. Adults do not get this at all. We are so bad at self-care. But taking care of yourself is not selfish. Learning to care well for yourself and taking care of your health and your emotional and spiritual well-being isn't selfish. If you don't take care of you, who will? Right? You have to learn to take care of yourself because you will need to take care of others, right? You're going to give and serve and love others, and you can't do that. Have you ever heard you can't pour from an empty cup? That's what this means. If you don't take care of yourself, you really have nothing else to give to others because you'll just be completely worn out. So I kind of want to wrap it up here with just a couple of things. I know I've given you a lot of information. So does anybody want to ask me any questions before I wrap up? No? Okay. So self-care is necessary. It's not optional. Okay. It is necessary, not optional. The better you take care of yourself, the better you're going to feel emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Another important thing to remember is you have to do it regularly. You have to try to give yourself 15 to 20 minutes every single day of self-care. Try to extend it to an hour, but at least start with that 15 to 20 minutes every single day. Okay, because if you don't do it regularly, you're not going to get all the benefits from it that you want to get. Find a time and a space to do it regularly. Put it in your schedule, just like you would a class at school or a time for something. Make time to do that. So whatever your time is, either before school or after school, whenever you're feeling like you need to do it, find a space to do it regularly. You may even find that you need to do it more than once a day, right? So you just need to stop and breathe and pray or meditate or hug a friend or your dog or cat. So just do it. Just stop and take care of yourself so you can relieve yourself of some of that anxiety and stress. And you will learn and you'll come to recognize what things trigger you to make you feel more stressed. And you'll come to find out what things are going to help you de-stress and that are the easiest ways for you to do self-care. Remember, it is not selfish to practice self-care. It is vital. It is absolutely vital to your physical, to your mental, and your emotional and spiritual health. When you take good care of yourself, you will feel less stressed and you'll find out that you're even more productive. So that is all I have for you tonight, unless you have any questions for me. I had a great time sharing with you guys tonight. I'm hoping that something that I said, it will be useful to you and that you will be inspired to take better care of yourself.
Awesome content, Michelle. I think even I learned something in this one. So
Good.
we appreciate your time tonight and look forward to the next time you're able to do something for us again with Rise Up.
Great. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
Thanks, everybody.